Pledge allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good evening, Council, Chief of Staff, Deputy Clerk, and audience. First, I'd like to wish everybody Happy New Year, and this is the first meeting of this brand new year. And today's date is January 3rd, 2017, and this is the City of Romulus City Council regular meeting. Tonight, roll call will show that all members are present. Tonight's agenda is as follows. Number 1, agenda. 2, minutes. 3, petitioner. 4, chairperson's report. 5, mayor's report. 6A, clerk's report. 6B, treasurer's report. 7, public comment. 8, unfinished business. 9, new business. 10, communication. 11, adjournment. Motion be in order to accept the regular council meeting agenda as presented.
So moved.
Support.
It's been motioned by Mr. Wadsworth, supported by Ms. Choate, for approval of agenda as presented. Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Choate?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Makowski?
Yes.
Mr. Crowd?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Chair votes yes. Agenda accepted.
Number 2 are the minutes, and for approval are the minutes from the regular council meeting held December 27th, 2016.
So moved.
Support.
It's been motioned by Mr. Crowd, supported by Ms. Roscoe, for approval of the minutes from the regular council meeting, which was held December 27th, 2016. Mr. Crowd?
Yes.
Mr. Roscoe?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Abstain.
Ms. Makowski?
Abstain.
Ms. Choate?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Chair votes yes. Motion approved.
There are no petitioners on the agenda. Number 4 is the chairperson's report.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. The chairperson doesn't have a report tonight, but I would like to welcome Mr. Wadsworth back. Wadsworth.
Thank you, Mr. Barber.
And as our clerk said, I wish everybody this coming Happy New Year. And that will conclude my chairperson's report.
Mr. Chair, I'll make a request to accept your report.
Support.
It's been motioned by Ms. Roscoe, supported by Ms. Makowski, to accept the chairperson's report. Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Makowski?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Mr. Crowd?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Ms. Choate?
Yes.
Chair votes yes. Motion approved. Thank you.
Number 5 is the mayor's report.
Good evening, Council, City Clerk. Mayor Burkhoff requested I present his report this evening. And before we get started, I would like to ask Dennis Davidson to come up and give you some highlights on what's going to be happening in our community in the next couple of weeks.
Thank you, Chief of Staff. Good evening, everyone. We're going to start off a new year with a ribbon cutting ceremony tomorrow, which we hope are many ribbon cutting ceremonies here in Romulus coming up in the year 2017. This is going to be at Suburban Occupational Health at 29750 Ecorse Road right here in Romulus, and that will be at 1:30 in the afternoon. Contact Betsy at the chamber if you're planning on attending. Here's what's coming up around Romulus. Applications are now being accepted for the spring session of the Romulus Public Safety Citizens Academy. The course runs Tuesday nights from 6:30 until 9:30 p.m. for 16 weeks beginning on February the 7th. There's no cost for this program, but you must pre-register as the class size is limited. Applications can be obtained at the Romulus Police Department or online at romulusgov.com/Citizens Academy. The Romulus Area Youth Swimming Club will be having a swim testing and registration for their 10-week winter session on January the 10th and 11th from 6 to 8 p.m. at the Romulus High School pool. And you can visit www.romulusswimclub.com for more information on that. And the annual Romulus Community Celebration for Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Day will be Monday, January the 16th. The march will begin at 8 a.m. at the Romulus Middle School, walking into Romulus High School. A pancake breakfast provided by the Romulus Rotary will start at 8 a.m. in the high school cafeteria. The official celebration will begin at 9:30 in the high school auditorium. Mayor Burcroft's State of the City Annual 2017 address will be held on Thursday, January the 19th at the Romulus Athletic Center. Tickets are $20 per person, must be purchased in advance at the mayor's office at City Hall or by mail by Thursday, January the 12th. Registration will begin at 3. The program will begin promptly at 4 p.m., followed by light refreshments from 5:15 to 6 p.m. All proceeds will benefit the 2017 Romulus Summer Programming. There'll be a free elder law legal presentation at the Senior Center on January 24th at 11:30 a.m. This presentation is targeted at persons 60 years of age and older, as well as their family members and caregivers. And the Romulus Chamber of Commerce and Friends of the Library are holding a bowling fundraiser on Saturday, January 23rd. Cost is $20 per person, and tickets are on sale now at the Chamber office. Get your tickets early if you're interested in this event. It's known to sell out. Thank you.
Thank you, Dennis.
Okay, thank you, Dennis. The first item this evening under the mayor's report, item 5A, is a request for the reappointment of Daniel McAnally and Melvin Zilka for the Romulus Planning Commission, with their reappointment term to expire on January 31st, 2020.
So move for the appointment of Daniel McAnally and Melvin Zilka to the Planning Commission until January of 2000.
Support.
It's been motioned by Mr. Wadsworth, supported by Mr. Kraut, and this is to concur with administration to approve the reappointment of Daniel McAnally and Melvin Zilka to the City of Romulus Planning Commission with a 3-year term to expire on January 31st, 2020. Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Mr. Kraut?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Makowski?
Yes.
Ms. Choate?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Chair votes yes. Motion approved.
Thank you. Item 5B is relative to the City of Romulus Cellular Services. There's actually 2 motions that are requested on this item. The first item is a request to authorize the administration to continue the use of both the State of Michigan contract and the federal GSA contract for all cellular services for the City of Romulus through Cellco partnership, and that would be until the term of the contracts have expired or should the city request to solicit additional bids. That's the first request that we would need a motion on.
So moved. Support.
It's been motioned by Ms. Makowski, supported by Ms. Abdo, and this for approval of the City of Romulus Cellular Services and authorized representatives. Ms. Makowski?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Ms. Choate?
Yes.
Mr. Kraut?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Chair votes yes. Motion approved.
And the second motion that's requested on this item would be to authorize Steve Dudek, our Technology Services Director, and Lynn Conway, our Purchasing Director, to be the authorized electronic signers with Verizon under the terms of these 2 contracts.
So moved.
Support.
Been motioned by Ms. Makowski, supported by Ms. Roscoe, and this is also to concur with administration and authorize Stephen Dudek, Technology Service Director, and Lynn Conway, Purchasing Director, to authorize electronic signers and the Verizon under the terms of the 2 contracts. Ms. Makowski?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes. Yes.
Mr. Kraut?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Ms. Choate?
Yes.
Chair votes yes. Motion approved.
Okay, thank you. And the last item is 5C, and that's a request for authorization to enter into a release agreement with MK Construction Company for the Wickham Road Water Main Project.
So moved.
Support.
It's been motioned by Ms. Makowski, supported by Mr. Kraut, authorization to enter into the release agreement with MK Construction Company Wickham Road Water Main Project. Ms. Makowski?
Yes.
Mr. Kraut?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth? Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Ms. Choate?
Yes.
Chair votes yes. Motion approved.
Thank you, Council. That will conclude the mayor's report this evening.
Thank you.
6A is the clerk's report. 6A1. For second reading and final adoption is an ordinance to amend Chapter 38, Sections 38-1, Community Park and Neighborhood Parks, and Section 38-2, Hours to Allow for Seasonal closure of parks. This ordinance amendment was introduced at the council meeting of December 27, 2016.
So moved.
Support.
Been motion by Ms. Abdo, supported by Mr. Kraut. This is for the second reading, final adoption to amend ordinance chapter 38, section 38-1, community parks and neighborhood parks, and section 38-2 hours to allow for seasonal closure of parks. Ms. Abdo,
Yes.
Mr. Kraut,
Yes.
Ms. Choate,
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth,
Yes.
Ms. Makowski,
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe.
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
Thank you. That concludes the line items on the agenda. But I do have a request. If council would adopt a resolution to congratulate the Union Grove Baptist Church as they celebrate their 60th church anniversary.
So moved. Support.
It's been motioned by Mr. Wadsworth, supported by Mr. Kraut. For resolution for, is that Uniondale,
The Union Grove Baptist Church.
Union Grove Baptist Church? And how many years is that, Miss?
60 years, yes.
Wow. Okay, Mr. Wadsworth,
Yes.
Mr. Kraut,
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe,
Yes.
Ms. Makowski,
Yes.
Mrs. Choke,
Yes.
Ms. Abdo.
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
Thank you. That concludes the clerk's report.
Thank you.
There is no treasurer report this evening. Number 7 is public comment, and this is the section of the agenda that is available to those of you in the audience. If you would like to have comments, please raise your hand. After you've been acknowledged by a chairperson, approach the podium. We ask that you please state your name and that you would limit your comments to 3 minutes. We do not have any written requests.
Okay, thank you. Any comments from the audience? Yes, Ms. Lemon?
Good evening, Jan Lemon. Merry Christmas to you and Happy New Year's, and I hope you all had a wonderful time. I have always been able to provide for my family for Christmas, but this year was a very, very special Christmas. The VFW took on and adopted a family who would have had nothing. For those of you at home who did not hear, beside the spaghetti dinner, they got this veteran a place to live, they got him a vehicle, they got him a job, and each and every one of you out there who donated a present for these children, you know who you are. I was just honored to stand face to face with this veteran on a Sunday afternoon, to know that he went and fought so I can stand up here and do this. And he told me he would go back in a heartbeat if the government would let him, but they won't because of his leg injury. We made those little girls extremely happy. And there's just not enough words to express for the tiny bit that I put out to help. And the city employees who helped, this family was just ecstatic. They left the VFW on a Sunday afternoon, and they could not believe what all was done for them. So don't anybody ever say Romulus has nothing. We have people who give from their hearts and from their pocketbooks to help people. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Lemon. Any other comments from the audience? No more comments? Okay, we'll close that part out, Madam Clerk.
Number 8 is unfinished business. Number 9 is new business. Number 10 is communication.
Mr. Chair, if I
Yes,
may?
Ms.
I just
McCoskey?
have a quick announcement from the library. Tomorrow night at 6 p.m., they've got their monthly movie. It's called Storks, where you find your flock. It's the same movie company that made the Lego movie, so that's for family, 6 p.m., Wednesday, January 4th. And then also, the first 3 Wednesdays of the month, there's a parent-child interactive story time that is held on tomorrow, the 4th, the 11th, and the 18th. No registration required for ages 4 and under. They partner with the Guidance Center, provide free resources, and that is happening at, let me look here, 10:30 a.m. So please bring your kids. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Kraut?
Yes. If you're celebrating a birthday in January, happy birthday to you.
Thank you, Mr. Kraut.
Number 11 is adjournment.
Support.
It's been motioned by Mr. Wadsworth, supported by Ms. Makowski for adjournment. Mr. Wadsworth? Yes. Ms. Makowski?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Mr. Kraut?
Yes.
Ms. Choate?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Chair votes yes. We are adjourned. Thank you.